Now, President Trump has been overhauling the Department of Justice as well since his very first executive order pardoning those Capitol rioters, one that prompted some top justice officials to resign. CBS News Department of Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane is being linked up to our studio right now, and you see him there from our D.C. bureau with more on this. Scott, good morning to you. What do you think of the defining characteristics of these first 100 days if we're listening only to your sources at the Department of Justice?
It's hard to get past those first few hours. You want to look at 100 days, it's maybe more worthwhile to look at the first 100 minutes when he signed this pardon, this historic pardon of 1,500 plus people, hundreds of whom admitted assaulting police officers. He commuted a handful of the higher level sentences, but everybody was released from prison, and that changed the culture and the vibe inside the Department of Justice in a way even those anticipating pardons didn't expect. There were these frontline resignations and firings of prosecutors who handled January 6 cases by Trump appointees inside. And we have seen in the 100 days since, Errol, this placement, this strategic placement of Trump's former defense lawyers into the highest perches inside the Department of Justice. Not only is Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, a former attorney who represented Donald Trump during his first impeachment, her deputy, the number 3 official, the number 5 official, the Solicitor General, are all people who defended Trump in court in the year before he took the oath of office for his second term. This is no longer the independent agency it has prized itself with being for generations. This is the Trump Justice Department unequivocally.
And Scott, what is the latest on the president's nominee for U.S. attorney and the 100 former federal prosecutors who apparently have now united in opposition to that?
Yeah, I'm going to give you an obscure name and an obscure title. Edward Martin is the acting U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. That may be deceptive, though. The U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia is not just a U.S. attorney. It's arguably the most powerful federal prosecutor in America, handling with the largest staff in U.S. attorneys' offices in the largest jurisdiction, also federal criminal cases involving federal officials, corruption cases, the highest profile stuff. Ed Martin is a Stop the Steal advocate, a 2020 election denier, a MAGA loyalist, and somebody with no prosecutorial experience but close ties to MAGA world. There are 100 plus now former federal prosecutors in Washington, D.C., and Senate Democrats who are urging to block his confirmation, saying he is not independent, he is distinctively loyal to the president, and would not be the best suited person to be the top federal prosecutor in Washington, D.C., and one of the most powerful in America. It's unclear right now when the Senate's going to vote on whether to confirm Edward Martin or not confirm him. We know those nearly 100 former federal prosecutors, Errol, are trying to get an audience with Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee to try to talk them out of confirming this nominee of the president's, even though all the other nominees have gone through swimmingly. Errol, they have made a bit of a firewall around the nomination of Edward Martin.
Really noteworthy. Scott MacFarlane, we appreciate your insight and the updates there. Thank you very much.